The sprint qualifying of the Chinese Grand Prix 2025 provided pure entertainment, with surprises, disappointments and twists until the very last moment. The battle for the sprint pole was heated from the first sector, with Hodger, Albon, Stroll, Tsunoda, Sainz and Gabriel Bortolito setting their personal best times. Haas still has to push, while Ocon is on an outlap and will be the last to cross the line. In the meantime, Albon moves up to 8th, while Lawson slips to 13th and decides to lift his foot. Will he have time for another attempt? Maybe, but it will be a matter of seconds. Lando Norris unleashes all his speed, improving in the first and third sectors and taking the lead with 0.3 of an advantage over his pursuers. The pressure is on, especially for Carlos Sainz, who crosses the finish line and manages to place himself ahead of his teammate. But behind them there is still a lot of improvement to come. Lawson is now 15th and it seems he has not started a fast lap. It could be the end of his qualifying. Shortly after, Hodger surprises everyone with a super lap that earns him the 5th position, while Lance Stroll secures the 9th place. Yuki Tsunoda is in the elimination zone, but Gabriel Bortolito is pushing hard with the Racing Bulls and manages to conquer the 9th position. The Brazilian enters Q2, while Lawson is eliminated with the 18th time and returns to the pits. A disaster for him. The two Haas start their laps very late, and we are on board with Oliver Behrman, who still has everything to play for. Gasly is already out, while Hülkenberg is improving in trying to save himself in extremis. Everyone is pushing hard, but the perfect lap is needed. A Haas crosses the finish line and surprises everyone. Behrman moves up to 9th position. An incredible performance at the right time, which forces Jack Doohan into the elimination zone along with his teammate Pierre Gasly. Bortolito is on the razor's edge, but Hülkenberg does not find enough time to pass him and is eliminated. And Ocon? He manages to improve, but only to 18th position, not enough to save himself. A mistake in turn 9 costs him dearly. He understeers and loses traction, ending up too wide and losing precious time. Esteban Ocon is eliminated, as are Doohan, Gasly, Hülkenberg and Lawson. A day to forget for Red Bull, with Lawson last on the grid. But now the focus shifts to the front, where Lewis Hamilton is showing off his talent. The 7-time world champion is on Norris pace in the middle sector and seems to have finally found the right rhythm. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso is putting in a solid performance, with an excellent first sector and a very competitive second sector. Meanwhile, great team play by Racing Bulls, perfect strategy to give Tsunoda a slipstream on the very long straight, allowing him to gain precious tenths. The Japanese driver moves into 4th position, but is soon overtaken by Stroll, who pushes him into 5th position. A year ago, Aston Martin dominated this track, but today it is Lewis Hamilton who is making the fans dream. The Briton launches into a spectacular lap and moves into the top 3, less than 0.2 off Norris's time. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, struggles to keep up with his new teammate and finds himself only 5th. But the session is still wide open. Alonso enters the top 8 ahead of both Mercedes, while Behrman continues to amaze and finishes in 10th position. It is a great result for him, but the battle is not over. Sainz fails to access Q3, as does Gabriel Bortolito, who finishes 13th. Meanwhile, Alex Albon once again confirms himself as a revelation, setting an extraordinary lap that puts him ahead of Leclerc's Ferrari. Tsunoda is 8th, Alonso 9th, Behrman 10th. But the twist comes from Antonelli. The young talent sets the 4th fastest time, eliminating a Haas driver. And then there is George Russell, who until a few moments ago was behind Antonelli, but now crosses the finish line and surprises everyone, 2nd place, ahead of Piastri. The session enters its decisive phase, and everything depends on the details. Hamilton is fighting for pole, but he has to deal with a particularly complicated exit of turn 13, with the rear moving as he tries to unload all the power possible. It is a lap on the limit, while Piastri pushes to the maximum and Norris is also still in the game. With just a few seconds to go, Hamilton sets the best central sector of all. The duel between Ferrari and McLaren is heated. Hamilton manages to take pole position by just 0.08 of a second, but be careful, Norris is improving and still has a chance. Leclerc crosses the finish line, but is only third, 2/10 off the best time. Now the only ones who can beat Hamilton are Norris and Piastri. Piastri tries everything, but misses the target. And Norris? He is on the decisive lap, but pits. Lewis Hamilton is on pole for the sprint. The surprise is incredible, no one expected such a result. The front row is composed of two legends, a 7-time world champion and a 4-time world champion. The reigning champion tries the final twist, but fails by just 0.02 of a second. Formula Uno never follows the script, and today they proved it once again. Albon finishes 8th, Tsunoda completes the top 10. And while the radio is celebrating, the most unexpected phrase of the day arrives: "Where are we? San Diego, really? Big job, San Diego, woo." A surreal moment that closes an already crazy qualifying. That's why Norris stopped. He was pushing for pole, but he took too many risks in the final corners and had to abort the lap. He will start 6th. And Verstappen? He hasn't found the right pace, but he is still very close to Hamilton, separated by just 0.02. The crowd erupts. "Lewis Hamilton, welcome to Ferrari. You are the man to beat in the first sprint of the season." If you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Thanks, see you next time.